Welcome back, Tiger fans, to Rockin' Radio's football podcast. I'm Nate Edwards. That's Nathan Hurst. This is Before the Box Score, your post-game edition. Missouri defeats Central Arkansas. They said they couldn't be done. It was done. It was done tenfold. Missouri comes away 61-6 over the nasty Bears from Conway, Arkansas. Nathan Hurst was at the game. Nathan, how's construction going? How's construction? Did you fix it?
I didn't fix it. I looked at it and said, "Yep, that needs some fixing."
Yeah.
But I will say the presence of the structure just are in the skeletal form that it currently is very impressive. You feel closed in already, and they haven't even actually added any walls yet. So
good.
It's very exciting, even at the very, very minimal structure they built so far. It's really exciting for what it will look like when it's all done. So I will say that for it.
It's going to be loud as hell, and I love it.
Oh yeah, it's really great.
Especially if you're going to be cutting down on seats, you got to amplify what you got. It's what Washington did. It's what Oregon's does. You just wall of sound. So I'm super excited about that. Stadium is a work in progress. Missouri's a work in progress. Some setbacks. We're sitting here recording this on Thursday night because both Hurst and I are taking road trips this weekend for Labor Day. So you're not going to get kind of the more elongated analysis that you would get with a couple of days of bacon on your takes here. So it's going to be a little bit more from the hip, but it's also an FCS game, and that's really all you're really going to get is just hip takes. And I don't know what stood out for you, Hurst, as your number one, but I think we're just going to address the crappiness that's lingering over this game with two injuries, and obviously Sam Horn coming in for a play and then taking a nasty hit to the knee. You're hoping it's a bone bruise, but boy, it's not looking good. And then Blake Craig mysteriously getting hurt on a kickoff that I did not see. I said you didn't see, and we just don't know what's going on. But Eli Drinkwitz seems pretty forlorn in his press conference, just looking at the tweets here. So that sucks. What anything to add on that?
It doesn't sound good. We don't know the extent of either injury, and Drinkwitz was not forthcoming in his immediate press conference right after the game. But he said it was very disappointing and sad for both those guys. So that doesn't sound great for either one, to be honest. I didn't see Blake Craig's injury at all, other than hearing that it was on the sideline on a kickoff. So I don't have any idea what he even injured. And then obviously Sam Horn's leg looked most likely like a knee to me, taking a helmet right to it on the first play of the game. So, or not the game, but his first play of the season, his first play in a couple of years. So you feel really bad for that guy because he's had the injury bug already. He finally gets on the field. That sucks. It sucks for him first and foremost. It sucks for the team because now you go from having 7 quarterbacks on the roster last season to 3. And really, and one of them is a walk-on who's never taken any snaps. 2 of them hadn't up until tonight. Zollers did take some snaps tonight. So now, assuming he's not going to be back for next week at the very least, you got three quarterbacks on the roster, and that's not a position you really, really want to be in. So that's a little scary. And then Blake Craig comes out, nails 2 long field goals, looks great right off the bat, and then an injury which he could have twisted his ankle. He could have been something way worse. We just don't know. We'll find out more, but not great on either. You hate to see injuries anytime, but especially in these early games that you could have rolled the third stringers out there the whole time and come away with the win most likely. So that kind of makes it sting all the more.
Yeah, I mean, it can't be negative both ways. Well, I guess it could, but you can't sit here all summer and say, if you have 2 quarterbacks, you have none, and then turn around and say, oh, now you only got 1 quarterback, now you're screwed. Now, I know that's disingenuous because, yes, you need a backup quarterback, but Missouri has one. It's Matt Zollers. And really, I mean, I'm not going to try to read all the forks in the timeline road here, but was there really anything that Sam Horn could have done this game to convince you that he was the guy over what you saw
No,
from Beau
based on how
Pribula?
Beau Pribula played, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. No, there's nothing he could have done.
Yeah. So
But
like,
but
yeah,
he
go
was
ahead.
he going to win the starting job? No, but he's certainly probably more prepared as a backup if something,
Yes.
God forbid, were to happen to Beau Pribula. I don't know why I keep
Right.
calling him Drew. Beau
Don't
Pribula.
know.
I think I'm getting Drew Pine with the Drew P in my head. I can't get that out. Beau Pribula, and his play style, which is not one to shy away from contact. You never know when something else bad could happen. So you would like to have at least a couple options behind him if he were to go down. So that hurts. I mean, first and foremost, though, it just sucks for Sam, because he's worked really hard to get back healthy, get on the field, compete in this job, and then one play and it's potentially donezo for the year. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
It's a good thing he got paid.
Yeah.
The deal was signed. He's got time to rehab, for whatever it is. But for Craig, I think that's going to be the big one. When I talked about when I've assessed this team heading into this season, I thought that the offense would be a little bit of a jumbled mess, trying to figure out what they have. The defense would be stout and incredible, and then if you don't have an offense that can do a lot of things, then you need a very clutch kicker. And Craig has not really shown to be clutch, but he did show that he can knock some big ones in. Not reliably last year, but he was 2 for 2 this year. So now you're turning to a freshman California kicker who, again, nailed his extra points, but pretty much the lowest stakes pressure thing you could ask him to walk in, which is good. I'm not saying we want him to be pressured in this game, but you don't really know what you have there. So we're unclear what's up with Craig. We're probably not going to find out until next week. And even then at that point, we're going to figure out if, what's his ability to go. So it's, it sucks that those are the two big storm clouds, hanging over our heads from this game. But hey, let's talk about the good. Beau Pribula nailed it.
He looked really good.
Aced the audition.
In every way.
Yeah, I mean, he was doing things that haven't been done since Brad Smith. So that's kind of where we're at. And I know. Hey, opponent adjusted. It was just an FCS, but no other quarterback did that against an FCS team. And this is his first start with a bunch of new pieces around him. So I was very impressed. I don't think he looked like Brad Smith. He kind of reminded me a little bit of a lighter James Franklin. But I mean, what? Biggest takeaway from Beau's performance? What do you think?
He looked like he controlled the offense. He knew where he was supposed to go with the ball when he was supposed to go there. He hit his downfield passes. I think he was 2 for 3 on deep shots to Marquise Johnson, and that's an outstanding percentage. I will take 66% of deep shots for the season. Thank you. We'll keep that percentage up. Just accuracy looked great. Never once was the ball put in any spot where you're like, ooh, that could have gone bad. So he was putting the ball where it needed to be when it needed to be there. Really good at finding seams to cut and run. He does not shy away from contact, which is, I hope he would find a ways to get out of bounds a little bit more. His offensive line didn't help him out a lot there a couple times early in the first half, either in terms of opening him up to take in some shots, but he seems like a tough kid, so he's going to be able to bounce back from it as long as he doesn't take the wrong shot in the wrong place. But he was great. I couldn't have scripted a better start for him, to be honest.
Yeah, I think I was most impressed with that 2-minute drive at the end of the first half.
Absolutely,
everything was in rhythm. He knew exactly where he was going. I know it's FCS. I know. This was his first game at Mizzou,
and that's what you want to look like against FCS. If you can't look like you need to look dominant against an FCS team, and he looked like there was very little competition against him, and that's what you expect.
He knew what he was seeing. He knew where he wanted to throw the ball. Okay, and this is a guy whose arm had been criticized all off season. He was comfortable. He knew what to do, and he did it in a very quick time frame. It looked like he'd been throwing to those receivers for years, all of them. There was no hitch. There was no misunderstanding. Now, did he float a couple to the sideline? Yeah, he did. Okay. Would you prefer to see, a little bit more zip on some of those 15 to 20 range balls? Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely. Also, Josh Manning's got, a catch radius of the world. And Marquise Johnson, I'm now convinced, is the secret to Missouri's explosive offense. Just end of story. And we have him back. So I don't know what more you could ask for from what he did. And again, FCS adjusted. I understand that, but you needed to see big performance. You need to see something incredibly impressive, and that's what we saw. So at least from that first test, we could check that box in and get ready for Kansas with him.
And he said he spread the ball around too. It wasn't just one guy that he was comfortable with. Mm-hmm. I mean, Johnson on the deep shots. He got there was a couple series back, in a row where it was Kevin Coleman over and over and over and over again, which was great. Josh Manning had a whole drive by himself where it seemed like 4 straight passes, and one of them, which was one of the craziest finger catches I've ever seen.
Dude,
we got Brett Norfleet had a catch. Jordan Harris, or a couple of catches for Norfleet, including a touchdown. Jordan Harris had a catch, so he was willing to spread the ball around. It wasn't just like he was laser focused in on one guy. So that's great as well to see that he's comfortable with all of his weapons.
Yeah. So let's compliment sandwich this thing. We've talked about the bad with the injuries. We talked about the good with Beau Pribula. Let's talk about the offensive line, because wow, that was bad. That was bad. And not only was it bad, but your preseason All-American was not good. That's not a report card he's going to put on the fridge come Monday. He looked like a guard playing tackle.
Yeah.
And I'm not an offensive line guy. I don't know what I'm always looking for. I knew that was bad. And I think he knows it was bad. And I don't know if that's just first game or just an off night, but left side of the line is concerning. No other way to describe it.
Yeah, so there were two, and it was within a close proximity of time-wise, 2 straight in the same drive even, where there were free rushers from the left side. I mean, if there's one place you can't allow a free rusher, it's from the left side. And doing it twice in this, within the span of 6 or 7 plays is just not tenable. I think one of those was a miscommunication more than a missed block, in that I think he was expecting Goodies, I still can't get his name, to take the guy who ended up, it was his man. It was Green's guy he was responsible for, but he let him go for whatever reason. It wasn't like he missed that block. But the second one was just a complete olay, and they both led to Pribula taking big shots, which you can't do even starting next week. Kansas has got a guy named Dean Miller who is a pretty darn good power 4 level defensive end, and he is going to eat Green for lunch if he's giving up that kind of pressure to a Central Arkansas guy. So it's concerning. It's not something that can't be fixed, but it's something that needs to be fixed if this offense is going to have any kind of long-term success, at least anywhere near what it was like today against competition that's not Central Arkansas.
I still don't know what I'm looking for. I understand that. It just looked like he had these moments where he thought, I'm playing guard. I'm playing left guard. And you shift the responsibility to who he thought it should go to. Because there's no effort. This wasn't like someone, bull rushed him. It's not like they swam move him. He just did not try to block him. And maybe you're right. Maybe that was a miscommunication between both sides. And so, they called out an alter, shift the block, and they didn't pick it up, so it looks like it's on him. I don't know. It just looked like he was used to playing guard, he was playing tackle, and the assignments got jumbled in his head, right? First game back, and he just kind of forgot what he was doing. That's what it looked like to me. And again, that is fixable. Like you said, that is training, that's practice, that's film, that's repping it over and over. But you've got 1 week. against really the most important game of the year so far. And Kansas saw exactly what we saw tonight, and they're not dummies, and they got better players, and they are going to know what to do. So it was not good. It was not a good outing from the offensive line. I will say they kind of hammered it in as the game went on. As they went more with the run blocking, they did better. I did not track the success rate left or right. It felt like they were better running right than running left, but I'll have to dive into it a little bit more. You had 4 penalties called on the offensive line in the first half of the first game of the season. You had some extra hits on Beau Pribula. And I know it is, but you got to go off of what you see. Yeah. And they made this move saying, this is it. This is it. So it's concerning because this is the only thing that we have. And again, it's fixable, but is this the best 5? I don't know. And I don't know if anything's going to change, but I cited 2014 Missouri earlier this summer. I'm going to cite it again. You slid a guy out to tackle who was a better guard because you're trying to get a best 5 out there, and then you realize your mistake and you fixed it halfway through the season and it took off. Let's not take that time. Let's figure it out now, and maybe a couple games will do it. I'm twice bit, so I'm a little bit shy about it.
Yeah. The penalties I'm not as concerned about. It's the first game. It doesn't matter who they were playing. That's kind of thing's going to happen. But the hits that Pribula was taking that were completely avoidable had just, you've been doing your job. That's what needs to be fixed and fixed fast. Because he already is going to be taking enough hits as it is, just his play style and the offense that they're going to be running. He's going to be running with the ball a lot. So giving the other team an extra 5, 6 hits on him, beyond what he's already going to take, there's no way that he's going to be able to last a full SEC season taking that kind of shots, those kind of shots all week in and week out. So yeah, no, that was definitely the most concerning thing, minus the injuries we already talked about.
Right.
That I noticed.
But if you need to have a leaky offensive line, it's best to have a mobile quarterback, which clearly Missouri does. That play action where he flipped and the guy was already in his face and he just kind of winged it to Norfleet real quick. Veteran move. He had that. I think he did a pretty good job of feeling the pressure from wherever it was coming and finding the hole. Again, FCS. I know, but he didn't have to be that good, and he was. So it's good to have some mobility back there. Now, again, on the plus side, it did take a while. Missouri's running backs, holy crap. Again, this was not a very big defense. They were, 6 feet tall, some of these defensive linemen. But Ahmad Hardy is a real dude. Jamal Roberts had a ton of carries. Marquise Davis gets his first carry, first touchdown. Yeah. They looked the part. What'd you think?
Yeah, they were awesome. I mean, Hardy took him a little bit to get going, and I think part of it was he just didn't have too many carries really even in the first quarter. But once the second quarter turned around, he was what we had hoped he would be, or what we had heard that he was. Just the burst through the hole, the patience. There were a few runs there where he was just waiting, boom, and then the hole was finally there. And before you know it, he put his foot in the ground. He's 10 yards down the field. That's exciting. That's really exciting. And you were mentioned it looked like they ran right better than left. I would 100% agree with that. I'm honestly not even sure how many times they even ran left. But that wide zone to the right was working really well, especially with Hardy. That's about all they ran in the second half, second quarter, third quarter. They probably got 80 yards just running those, within a 10-minute span. So that looked really exciting.
Yeah.
Even Tavoris Jones had some bursts there too. So
he also dropped it. Yeah. He's got to run stadium steps, but they all looked good, as they should. And again, they didn't have to, but they did. So yeah, I feel good about the running game, other than the fact that the left side of the line needs to clean their stuff up. And then just from a receiving standpoint, we already talked about it when we were talking about Pribula, but they did him a lot of favors too. Josh Manning made incredible catches. Marquise Johnson got open deep twice. Kevin Coleman just just a perfect Eli Drinkwitz receiver. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Seamless transition from Luther Burden to Kevin Coleman. You know, other than the fact that Burden's a little bit more of a meaner runner, but like you could barely tell a difference. The talent was there by far. And yeah, you know, just looking at the chat here, JM says he can't be taking sacks from FCS Purple Bears. Yeah, we know that the offensive line is a problem. We are aware, and you are absolutely correct. And that needs to get fixed. But if you have to have a leaky offensive line, better have good receivers and good running backs. And game one in, check. We have good receivers and good running backs. Check, check, check.
Even Donovan Olubade, that guy that guy moves differently than normal.
Got the
people.
vapors.
Just the fluidity, the smooth, like, and maybe it's the tall socks. I don't know what it is, but he just looks like he's gliding down the field. He just looks different. I am very excited for that guy.
Can I blow proportions way out of the water here? Game one. Can I do that? You know what? I'm going to do it anyway.
That's what we're here for.
If I said Jamar Chase, you would say?
I would say get him in the weight room for a couple of years and come back to me. But it's the tall sock, the tall socks. That's the tall socks. I'm telling you, they give you that fluid motion. But I can see it. I see the vision. He's just got to. He definitely has to get in the weight room.
He's got the viciousness of Burden running with the ball, and the smooth glide of, dare I say it, Denario Alexander. Just the effortless athleticism. And boy, go ahead and let your brain run with that, because just incredible, man.
Yeah, it
incredible.
It looks good. It looks good when he's got the ball in his hands. It's just like, yes, this feels right. This is how it should be.
Yeah, yeah. And hey, even Jude James got a touchdown, right? Matt Zollers to Jude James. Did not see that coming.
When is the last time, and I think I know the answer to this, but the last time that Mizzou has had 2 tight end touchdowns in a single game?
Arkansas 2023.
Right. It's been that long. And I to be honest, did Norfolk even have one last year? So this might have been the first time we've even had any games with a touchdown in the last 15 games.
Boy,
that would be. We had a tight end touchdown last year.
Hold on.
If we did, it was only 1 or 2.
No, he had 2 last year. He had 2 total. Yeah.
Well, we got 2 tight end touchdowns in a single game. 2 different players. That was exciting.
That was very exciting. Yeah, that was great. And then, you know, on the defensive side, what can you say? I mean, they essentially pitched a shutout. Central Arkansas had 1 scoring opportunity. Yeah, they crossed the 40 one time.
Yeah,
they crossed the 40 one time. That was the very end of the game. And Missouri was rotating guys pretty heavily. I saw Nate Johnson in the first quarter, right? So yeah, I think they were pretty liberal with their rotations there. Marquise Gracial looks thin, and by that I mean thin for an SEC defensive lineman, in that he looks jacked as hell instead of fat like he used to.
Yeah.
Very impressive. I mean, that Central Arkansas offensive line is pretty good. They actually have some of their higher rated guys on the offensive line, and they were able to get some movement, but they were under 100 yards for the first half of the game, and then the scrubs came in. So I feel, I don't know, good passing, impressive. What'd you think?
Yeah, I mean, it was good. That's what I wanted to see. That they finished with 227 yards on the game. I'll be interested to see the running success rate once we get there. I wasn't thrilled with the push up front in the run game, to be honest. That might have been the one of 2 things that I would quibble with. It wasn't bad. They finished with 3.9 yards per carry, 154 yards. Not amazing. But on the other end, 3.2 yards per pass, and that's going to win you a lot of games if you can limit your opponent to 3.2 yards per pass. Not yards per catch, yards per pass. So
that's
very good. The only other So yeah, it was good. Damon Wilson, a dude. Damon Wilson is a dude. That guy has a second level of speed around the edge. So hopefully, if they can, if Zion Young, if Darius Smith, if they can get another guy across from him to hold their own, they're going to have a pretty nasty pass rush. The one other concern I had, and it didn't come back to bite them at all because they were playing Central Arkansas, but it very well could come back to bite them next week rather, is the cornerbacks are still kind of getting beat. And Central Arkansas couldn't take advantage of that, but there were 4 or 5 times where the receiver had 2 steps on the defensive back. One led to a pass interference, which was a good play by Banner, just to, you'd rather get the pass interference and give up a long catch or touchdown. But there were 3 or 4 other instances too where they got beat. And that's a little concerning because Central Arkansas does not have speed demons at the wide receiver position. So maybe that's, it's first game for everybody, first game for the DBs too. But hopefully that's something that is just kind of a one-off and not boding poorly for the rest of the season. Because that was the cornerback position was the one that we were the most concerned about heading into the season, and they didn't do it. That said, overall, it was 73 passing yards they gave up. So you can't complain too much. But there were opportunities there had they been playing a better opponent where it could have gotten a lot worse.
A lot of drops. They had a lot of drops. So yeah, we'll see. They also didn't throw a lot. That's the other thing. I think a lot of this was kind of the defensive backfield kind of falling asleep at times. Like, oh, they're not going to throw this time because they haven't, and then they did. I'm really curious to see what the pressure rates were because for like most of the game, I was like, where are the defensive ends? Where are they? And then I look back, I was like, oh, they keep running the ball. That's where they are. So I think the pressure rates will be good, but a handful of sacks and some broken coverage. Like it's not great, but yeah, Kansas will tell us if this is a problem or not.
Yeah, and Batum didn't show anything in terms of anything interesting at all, which he shouldn't have. But there were no blitzes, there were no interesting weird coverages or things to confuse a quarterback. You see, he's saving all those for next week. It was just pretty much base defense the whole time, which is
other than Khalil Jacobs, who looked like Tyron Hopper out there.
Yeah, he was shooting the gap quite a bit. Sometimes a little too fast. He ran right by the running back on that fourth down. It's like, whoa, Beau, where are you going? You tackle the guy with the ball. You're not trying to run to the other end zone. But there wasn't a lot of exotic things that they could easily draw up, for next week. Safe to say, though, 220 yards, 7 points, basically, a shutout for 59 minutes and 30 seconds of the game. You're gonna take that.
Yeah. Sorry, I just a little bit of breaking news. Ben Arnett has died. Sports director
today. KOMU sports director for those who live in the mid-Missouri area. Very sad news. He's been the sports director there for 5 years, but had been with the Mizzou athletic department for years before that as their kind of in-house reporter. And he's a Mizzou alum himself. Very, very sad news. So thoughts and prayers go out to his family. Very difficult time for them, I'm sure.
He's been a staple of Mizzou media for forever, since really you and I were in school. Yeah. I remember I was like, man, that dude's got my dream job. Yeah, damn, that's sad. Holy shit. Yeah, thoughts and prayers, man. That sucks. But yeah, as far as, back to the game and everything like that, there's obviously some bummer town about the injuries. There's always some things that you can clean up. That's college football. You don't have a perfect team every single week, and certainly not one that has imported the amount of guys on one side of the ball that Mizzou has, and rotated in so many new faces, experienced faces, talented pieces. But this is still a team that's trying to find itself, trying to get itself going, and that's why you have these games. Now you got a brutal awakening when Kansas comes to town next week, because you better be on it. That's one that you cannot lose. So that's going to be tough, but You know, so far, if you had to beat your FCS team 61-6, this is the way that you want to do it. You know, you don't want to lose the injuries, but there are times when things look great. There are things where you need to improve, and I can tell you, Eli Drinkwitz loves that they have room to improve. He loves that he's got something to coach, like tangible things, and I'm sure the players know it too. So, yeah, that's you want things to fix, and you want to be dominant in the effort to fix it. And Samantha, happy birthday! You are 38 today, so congratulations. We got you a Missouri victory. I hope you're happy. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think? Are we going to get ranked next week, Hurst?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I really care if we win next week.
I don't think so.
I
know Boise lost,
maybe
but
actually,
like,
if I had to choose, I'd pick the we not be ranked, just to give an extra little chip on the shoulder.
Just
there,
sneak in there.
Yeah,
sneak in there. That's all.
If you don't want your first game of the season to be the best game of the season, because that means you haven't gotten any better. So, if 61-6 isn't your best game of the year, you're looking pretty good, or isn't going to be your best game of the year, you're looking pretty good. So we can hope that that's the case. You certainly don't want it to be the best game. So they will improve. There's a lot of room to improve, and the things that we talked about that were problems are things that can be improved. They're not unsolvable problems at this point in the season. So, get back in the lab, get working. Kansas comes in 8 days, 9 days.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be a whole new ball game. It's happening.
Mm-hmm.
It will be here before you know it.
That's right. So good week of practice, a lot of film to work on, fix the issues, beat Kansas. And boy, Mr. Brightside is going to hit super hard.
They have lights now. They have the lights that are.
I know. That's something else,
so
man.
It's gonna
something else.
It's gonna make it.
All right. Well, that is the recap for today. We're gonna go ahead and get to bed so we can hit our road trip tomorrow. But for all of you, hope you enjoy the show. Hope you enjoy the content. Hope you enjoyed the game. All right, it's meant to be fun. You know, that's what these games are for, especially the FCS game. Obviously, it wasn't all, roses, but 61-6, now you get to gear up for Kansas, and that's the show for today. As always, we appreciate the downloads and the subscriptions. You can leave a comment or rate us. We love all types of feedback from you all. You can follow us on Twitter at Matt H. Edwards, and he is at Burst of Hurst. And, of course, you can follow the Rock M flagship at Rock M Nation and our podcast and outlet at Rock M Radio. We appreciate you tuning in this time. We'll try to do better next time. Until then, M-I-Z.
Z-O-U.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to Rock M Radio, a proud partner of Fans First Sports Network. Rock M Radio is the official podcast network of Rock M Plus, a new and exciting subscription service provided by me and the other voices of Rock M Radio. Please take a few moments to head over to rockm.plus and sign up for an account today. The cost is only $5 a month, and benefits include access to our live podcast, a subscriber-only message board, weekly newsletters, and more. If you enjoyed this episode of Rock M Radio and would like to see more just like it beamed directly into your personal device, make sure to click the subscribe button below and tell your friends. Our podcast feed is available through the Apple Podcast app for iPhone, Google Podcast app for Android, whatever app you listen to your podcast. You can also find Rock M Radio on Spotify. If you're looking for a podcast about your favorite team that is not the Missouri Tigers, Fan First Sports Network is your answer. A full podcast network loaded with the team-specific podcasts covering Major League Baseball, the NFL, NHL, NBA, MLS, and more. And we'll be back with more episodes of Rock M Radio coming to you soon.